This is a video installation for a chrome air intakes, short ram intake for the 2000 to 2005 Monte Carlo, supercharged and non-supercharged. Tools needed for this installation is a 3/8 extension, about 6 inches, a 3/8 ratchet, a 1/2 inch socket, and a 5/16 inch socket, as well as a flathead screwdriver.
First, you want to take off these 3 bolts with a 1/2 inch socket.
Next thing to do is to remove this bar. Try to flip it over, then pull up the little clip. Pull up this little clip on this side and it slides right off. Set that aside. The next thing you're going to need to do is switch to your 5/16 and undo the 2 bolts here, and that'll give you access to the intake. Now that both of these bolts are undone, the next thing you want to do is take off your engine cover, and you can do that by screwing the oil cap all the way off, but push down, keep it on, and turn it again, and this will pop right out, and then you just pull that out, stick this back on by going back the opposite way. The next step would be to loosen this bolt here by a flathead screwdriver. And then undo this, snap, and there'll be another one over here. Then pull this clip off and undo the intake air temp sensor. You can then pull this off and pull it off of that. The next step would be to, now that that's all loose, you can pull this out of the way, just like that. Remove your stock filter. And pull firmly up and off for this part. The next step is on old GM cars. Their CPU is located inside their intake box. When doing an installation for this kit, you're going to have to relocate this behind the headlight. But to remove it, you just firmly grab it and you pull out, pulling off the sliders, and just set it aside over here for now. The next step, these are held in with clips. On the bottom, you just firmly pull up and they snap off, and remove this from there. We secured it with 2 zip ties around the body and 1 through these 2 holes over here, and that should hold it in place for the time being. The next step will be to take your stock intake tube and take your aftermarket one with the grommet, match them up together, and you're gonna want to pull the air intake sensor, temperature sensor out, and slip it into the new one facing the same direction. I put some anti-seize on it to help it slide in. And there's that. The next step is to locate your silicone tube for the throttle body, place the hose clamp on if it's not already on, and slide that onto your throttle body. Make sure it's nice and firm against it. And you're going to want to place your hose clamp not all the way against it, but a little bit in so it goes around the lip. Take your screwdriver and secure it down. Not too tight, as tightening comes later. Next step is to take your new tube and secure that to the silicone body, but loosen your hose clamp. It was like this, alright? Put your hose clamp on. Now that that's secure, the next step is to take your cone filter, and it should slip right on. If not, you gotta loosen the clamp a little, but as you can see, it slides right on. And tighten that down as well. The next step would be to plug in your sensor plug. You then put on your engine cover by slipping it through the hole over here, pulling that down, and screwing that on. Just find the spot, screw it down, and it locks down. Next, you're going to replace your bar over here. Make sure you put this clip back on. Just line it up and slide it on. Completion of the intake. As you can see, everything's back together and how it looks in the engine bay. In future videos, we'll be building a heat shield to protect it from the heat of the motor. But this is how this fruits of your labor sound.